In a year with a lot of speculation, fans want to know, will Cam Smith play right field or third base? Will Jeremy Peña mash, and will he hit the way he is in spring training? We've got this and other questions to try to answer on tonight's Locked On Astros.
Jainer Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros. We hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on X at Eric Talk Stros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can I find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok. They can find me at Stros411 on X, on Facebook, and Instagram. They can find me at Back to the Bullpen on Instagram, on iHeartRadio, on X, and wherever you get your podcasts, because why? I'm always positive, always Stros.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe to us. Make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you're listening to podcasts, go ahead and check us out. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins, whether it's about the Astros or any other sport. Go and check out FanDuel. So, Brett, I know a lot of things happened over the weekend. I know something exciting happened. I guess I don't know if it's technically exciting, but you had Altuve play second base today. And you had Alvarez play left field. This is not a big deal. This is where they've been basically playing often. Well, Altuve's been the second baseman forever, but you've had Alvarez, who's been kind of bouncing back between left field and DH. But the fact that Altuve's been playing a lot of left field, and all of a sudden he played second base today, a lot of people are like, does that mean the experiment is over? And you addressed that in your video on Saturday, that Joe Espada is looking for other options. Go and put that quote up just one more time, if you still have it.
Yeah. Right here, where he said, I'm not committed to Altuve being the everyday left fielder, nor X player, nor any player being the everyday second baseman. We're exploring all our options here, and we'll make those decisions closer to opening day. You know, Eric, one of the things I think it behooves the Astros is to put Yordan in left field at least twice a week. And they need to honestly, I think they baby him too much. I think they handle him too much like with kids' gloves. The guy thrives when he's in the field. Let him play 2 days a week in the outfield. Why the heck not? And Jose Altuve to left field, I still think it's a bit of a stretch. Of course, Jose Altuve is going to run down the ball and he's going to give it his all and all that stuff, but he's not throwing anybody out from the outfield. And I mean, unless you have Cam Smith coming up, and we'll talk about it soon, playing right field, you have an outfield that is super weak arm strength wise. And so I think them exploring it all the way up until the end is smart. So you're going to see Altuve get some run at second base, and it's not because all of a sudden they shifted back. They are in the wait and see mode.
Yeah, and that's kind of the segue I was leading into to this Cam Smith conversation, because we know that Chas McCormick was likely to play right field unless somebody stepped up. DeZenzo hit a monster shot, but he has played some outfield, so he could be an option. But Jim Bowden kind of dropped a bombshell. I know some people kind of look at his ex post as kind of a, is this for real, or is this something that I don't think he made up, but is exaggerated a little bit. But Jim Bowden today said, we're at Astros camp, and one of the things for sure, GM Dana Brown and manager Joe Espada both made it clear that Cam Smith will be given the opportunity to win the right field job. And Jose Altuve told Eddie Perez and I that he hopes Smith makes the team for more go to his MLB Network Radio. So basically, he said that the manager and the GM are both expecting Cam Smith to make the opening day roster as the right fielder. But my question is, he has not played right field yet.
I think reading into Bowden's comments, or Jim Bowden, whatever you say his name, former GM, the dude's like the Mel Kiper of MLB. He can't read anything. This dude is terrible on his tweets. I'm sorry, he's very rarely right. And Joe Espada did not say that he's fighting for the right field position opening day. He said he'll be given a chance to fight for right field. Back in the very beginning, day 1 or 2 of spring training, Chandler Rome asked Joe Espada when Cam Smith's bat will basically speak to where he plays and what openings there are for him in the big leagues, correct? And he said, basically, yeah. So let's say Cam Smith, I think he's going to go to Double-A. Guys, he's only had 15 at-bats in Double-A. He's been essentially hitting against mostly minor league pitching in these games. And I'm not saying you discount he's hitting well. You can't put too much stock, but you also can't discount it. The guy's had 15 at-bats in Double-A. You put him in Double-A, you let him mash, you put him in Triple-A, you bring him up. And here's how he goes to right field. If Chas McCormick has fallen flat to start the year, he is absolutely benchable. He is a guy that you can put on the bench. You've given years to like create this major league resume, and he's had good success, and he's had a lot of mid to low level, just kind of average baseball. Okay. We know what Chas McCormick is capable of, but we know more consistently what he's given us. So if Cam Smith's bat is raking and second base and left field are taken care of, then yes, Cam Smith will make it to right field. He does not break big league camp on the opening day roster. I just don't see a guy with 15 at-bats in Double-A making a major league roster. I just think go look at Jackson Holliday last year. What happened to him? He came up and struggled mightily. Right. Why would you want to bring your top prospect up just for him to struggle in the beginning of the season? He's going to be facing a lot of really good teams in the first part of the season. You don't want to do that to him. And I'm not slighting Cam Smith, and I'm not slighting Chas. Facts are facts. If you get paid millions, you've got to produce now. And that's why we're going to talk about Jeremy Peña as well.
So I just want to give him a little bit more credit. He does have 19 at-bats at Double-A.
God. Okay. Eric, he has 12 games in Double-A. He has 12 games in Double-A.
5 games, actually.
5 games?
That's what
it's. Sure?
I'm looking right at Baseball Reference right now. He has 5 games with with Tennessee, 20 plate appearances. He had 0 home runs, 2 triples, 3 RBIs, batted .263.
Oh, I see. 19 plate. Okay, 20 plate appearances, 19 at bats, 5 games. Okay. Then 12 games at high A and 15 games at single A.
He has 32 professional games overall in general.
Total.
Only 5 of those at Double-A. So the question is he ready? And the way he's hitting the spring, he shows that he's ready.
Well, yes, he is ready, but when he jumped from high A to Double-A, I mean, he hit, but he didn't have the same success. I'm just saying, I still think, like, if we're going to talk about small sample sizes, right? Like, everyone's like, well, we can't judge on small sample sizes. Well, I mean, you can judge what he's doing now, but you can't project what he's doing in spring training and put that into a regular season, every day at bats, major league pitching, major league relief, major closers. I mean, guys that are coming at you with the best of the best. Again, I think Cam Smith makes the adjustment. I think Cam Smith is the guy that Altuve passes the torch to. So I have him as a foundational cornerstone player, one of the guys that stays in an Astros uniform for his career, unlike Tucker, unlike Springer, unlike Correa. The list goes on and on. So I'm not discrediting him, but I really think, and even if you just send him to AAA, you still need him to get a lot of at-bats and get in the groove and get used to that pitching, and then boom, move him up when he's ready, when he's hot, and then you hit the ground running, and Cam Smith is sandwiched between guys like Walker and Alvarez, or Paredes and Alvarez, or something like that, and then you've got a stud on your hands protected by big league hitters.
So I think what the Astros may be thinking here is that if this report is true, they're thinking that maybe he has this Jackson Holliday type potential. And so maybe it's worth taking risk. And you have the PPI where if he has a status where he comes up and he's up for basically a whole year. And he can qualify for the rookie year and gets the rookie year, or he gets the MVP and top 3 in the MVP for the next 3 years, I believe it is. The Astros will get a draft pick. So maybe the Astros are like, we think this guy may be this good, but we'll go ahead and continue this conversation next on the Locked On Astros podcast.
When the game tips off, the NBA action is just getting started. There's no better place to get in the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. With FanDuel, you can place live bets throughout the game. So even if you miss the opening tip-off or you want to be in a fourth quarter comeback, you can stay in the action. And if you're looking for a bigger payout, you can combine your live bets into a same-game parlay. I love using FanDuel's betting feature because it keeps every moment of the game exciting, whether I'm backing my team for a late rally comeback or picking a player to hit a clutch 3. I never feel like I've missed my chance. Plus, the app is easy to use, and when you win, you get paid instantly. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets with your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to us. Make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, go and check us out. So I know a lot of people are concerned about not rushing him, everything. My concern with this whole thing is the right field thing. I know we've been so focused on Altuve moving to left field. He's been playing second base his entire life. You've got somebody that is a natural third baseman, and you're going to say, oh, you know what? We got 20 days left before opening day. Let's go ahead and throw you in right field. My question is, when are they going to throw you in right field? And when they could give him time to get that experience? And we know that if everything's in flux right now. So if you're going to bring up a young kid like this, you typically want to put them at a natural position, a position they're comfortable at third base. He is a good third baseman. So if they're really going to think about bringing him up on opening day, I would think it would be as third baseman, but I know we have Paredes. Christian Walker is back with the team. I think you might have reported that. He's running. He's not really taking any swings yet, but he's taking it day by day. And hopefully he's not going to miss too much time into the regular season.
Yeah, so Cam Smith has played a smidge of outfield. He played 3 games in left field in the Cape Cod League back in 2023. He had 5 putouts. He had a 1,000 fielding percentage. So he fancies himself as a left fielder. Imagine that. He's probably going for Altuve's job in left. I'm joking. But Cam Smith is an athlete that can run, that can jump, that has speed, that has an arm. His grades are crazy through the roof. He's an overall 55 grade. And he's a guy that I believe you're going to see in right field before spring training's over. You're going to see him over there. Versatility is the theme of this Astros team in the last 2 seasons. Since Joe Espada's been here, he's talked about versatility. Dusty Baker never said the word, but because Espada has seen, and I think he's been coached by guys like Jason Bell, who we've had on the show, one of the guys in the Astros player development system, is you have got to create multiple opportunities for these guys to succeed, not just one primary position. That's why Altuve has said out loud, I'm moving to left field to help the team, to give other guys a chance to come up. Zach DeCenzo is a guy that we don't need to forget about. But all these things going on, Eric, what would help is if Jeremy Peña and all his work he's done with Tony Perez Chica pays off defensively, he makes fewer errors, and if he continues to hit the ball as well as he's hit this spring training, Jeremy Peña hitting for power and average would be massive to help this team and all these spinning plates they have. That would be one form of certainty that I think would help this team in a smooth transition to have winning baseball to start the season.
Before I get to Peña, Altuve is batting 133, 509 OPS. Not worried about him. You have Yainer Diaz batting 120, 360. Not worried about them. Typically, you don't look at the veteran guys and say, you know what, that's terrible numbers. Oh, you look at those numbers and say, wow, that's impressive. But what Jeremy Peña is doing this spring is impressive. It's something he's not only just hitting well, but hitting for power. He hit his second home run today. He's batting 500 with a 1438 OPS. If you look at the Astros hitting stats, he's tied for most home runs with Cam Smith. He's up there with batting average as well. So it's just he is going out on OPS, of course, but he's going out there and showing that he is a force to be reckoned with. So I know last year he kind of came back a little bit offensively, but the reason why I put this on here, the theme of this week is what if? What if Cam Smith comes up and plays right field opening day? Well, he needs to play during spring training first. But what if Jeremy Peña becomes the guy that he showed in his rookie season and comes up, not only just hits for power, but hits for average too, and puts it all together, maybe even throw some little speed in there. What if he becomes that overall guy and he becomes another way to lengthen the lineup? Because we always talk about the back end of the lineup, with the bottom three. You've got to make sure you have a top 6 guys. And if Jeremy Peña is hitting all year, I know it's just spring training, it's against weaker pitching. But what if this guy figured it out and he becomes not necessarily a superstar, but another piece to the puzzle?
Yeah, exactly. So his highest OPS was his rookie year, 715. His highest batting average was 266 this last year. His highest OPS plus was his rookie year. When you look at all these stats, 22 home runs, 22. In 24, he had 15. He had 160 hits this year. He only had 132 in 2022, but he also had 20 fewer games that he did that in. So you would like Jeremy Peña in a full season to be able to get at least 170 hits on the season. I know that's a tall order. Even if he could get 160, if he could raise his OPS to about 750, close to 800, that would be ideal. His slugging around 430 would be better than 390. So you've got that going for you. And you want to see the power numbers. Look, he's hit 2 or 3 triples every season he's been in the bigs. He's hit 20 plus doubles every year. Stolen bases. He stole the most bases he did in his first 2 seasons. So if he can move and get on the base, that would be good. And he took a lot fewer walks in 24 than he did in 2023, Eric. In 2023, he doubled his walks. So 2022, he had 22 walks. Last year had 25. In 23, he had 43 walks, Eric. And so at the end of the day, you have all these what ifs regarding, Jeremy Peña and what he's going to do. I think as long as the batting order around him is performing, everything will go well for Jeremy Peña. I think he's got more confidence this year. He's kind of becoming the leader in the clubhouse. I think just because he's been here long enough, the shortstop is usually a guy that can lead. And I really hope he takes on that role this year. And that may help him in the box mentally and staying focused, because when that guy's dialed in, man, he is really good and he's really fast.
And don't forget that he's going to be a big leader in the field in terms of Altuve playing left field. He's going to be coordinating a lot of plays out there along with Jake Myers. This could be a situation. Guys, I think Jake Myers is going to be out there in center field just because if Altuve is really out there in left field,
100%.
He's going to be playing out there. So DeZenzo, I know that somebody brought up DeZenzo. Yes, he crushed the ball today. He's batting .292 with the 750 OPS. He played first base today. Maybe Christian Walker, if he opens the regular season on the disabled list, possibly
He won't.
He won't. Okay.
No, he's gonna start swinging the bat this week. He said And his oblique soreness is nothing compared to what it
Right.
was the first time around, and that's what Joe Espada said. So there's no talk at all about him being on the IL. So I definitely don't want to get those thoughts in people's head. I know they're already kind of nervous about it, but full intention, I think you see them slowly work Walker in. I wouldn't worry about that. It's spring training. He doesn't have to have the ABs. And talking about what if scenarios and all that stuff. People, wonder about different guys. They're asking about the Southpaw from the Pirates. And I want to get to that in the last segment because you say Whitley and other news from the weekend, because I've got a graphic of his career win-loss record that I think people would like to see.
All right, guys. Thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Hey guys, we're back. Go ahead and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Go and check out the Locked On Astros podcast. Go and subscribe to us. It's really easy. I believe there's a little red button down there that says subscribe. I believe that's what it says. All you have to do is just press that little red button. You'll help Brett and I out a lot. So go ahead and help us get to 14,000 subscribers, and we'll be really grateful for that. So, Brett, I want to thank you last week for covering for me. I had a little rough week. I got to get away from it all this weekend with my wife and my daughter. So thank you for doing that. And I know the Astros are looking to get away from what was a disappointing 2024. So 2025, there's a lot of what ifs. So we can go into every what if, but we're going to kind of do it like a little bit each day. There's a lot of question marks. I know the big one we'll talk about a little bit tomorrow. What's going to be going on in left field. We kind of talked about that already, but we do want to talk a little bit about Whitley. Forrest Whitley pitched 2 innings, I believe it was on Saturday. He's looking pretty good. He's locked almost in the bullpen. And I think the Astros are looking at him possibly being a multi-inning reliever.
Eric, let me just hold on. Let me correct that phrase. No, he's locked in. He's in the bullpen. Right. Eric, he's making this team. There's no doubt in my mind that Forrest Whitley makes this team. Forrest Whitley just continues to go out there, Eric, and play really well, pitch really well. He's given up a solo home run, and that's the only run that he surrendered this spring training. I absolutely love what he did today. Unfortunate that he didn't get in the game. Well, he pitched 2 innings yesterday. That's why. But like Van Wy went in there, got 2 more strikeouts. But Forrest Whitley, 5 innings pitched, only 1 run, 4 walks, and 5 strikeouts. And his strikeouts look really good. So this kid, and there's also an article from, I believe, Brian McTaggart talked to him. And he just said, when you've gone through as much as what I've gone through, this is Forrest Whitley talking, it makes you an incredibly strong person. Like, I feel like I'm a lot stronger now as a human being because of what I've had to go through. So Forrest Whitley, book it, is on this roster. He doesn't not make it out of camp, not on this roster. He will play a significant role, I think, in the series versus the New York Mets, the first series at Dyken Park. That's going to be exciting. But Framber Valdez, dude, Framber struggled today with his control, and people were freaking out. Oh my God, are we going to get the Framber that's not good? And I'm like, don't worry about Framber. Framber's the ace. Framber's in a walk year. Framber's going to be fine. Framber's gonna be the flow. He's gonna be La Grasa. He's gonna be that guy on the mound. And so I really think that when you've got a guy like Forrest Whitley, like Framber Valdez in the front end, and then see where I thought Forrest Whitley was going to bridge the gap, Eric, it's this other guy that I think is going to come in and bridge the gap, the guy that they just signed. But tell me your thoughts on Framber.
I think that Framber, he is working on getting his movement the way he wants it to be. He's working on stuff. That's what a veteran pitcher does. He sees spring training as, like Cam Smith sees spring training as, I want to win. I want to make a great impression. Framber Valdez, he wants to make sure he's ready for opening day. He wants to make sure that he's ready for a heck of a season. because he wants to make all this money that all these other pitchers have been making. So he wants to go out there and he wants to show up next year. So he's working on getting the movement he wants, getting location. Am I worried about the 4 walks and 3 innings? Theoretically, yes, but there was also an error by DeZenzo. But I'm not worried about it about the regular season. We've seen him with some clunkers. We've seen him kind of go through his little cold spells. But if you see it during the regular season, that's when you get concerned. That's when you see it consistently. But when it's during a spring training game, I'm not too concerned.
Well, hey, one of the things to kind of go with this news of the weekend. I don't know if you saw who hit home runs today, but Alvarez hit his first home run in the spring. DeCenzo hit a home run, and Jeremy Peña hit his second home run in the spring. So that's definitely a good thing. Bastidas got in there, got an RBI. The Astros collected 10 hits today, Eric. And so you like to see the 10 hits. It's so funny looking at the box score from a game from spring training, because there's like 20 guys that get in the game. It's almost like a Little League roster. Like you have all these players on the bench and everybody has to play 3 up and 3 down. Or
remember the old days when in September when they would have all the 40-man call-ups where you would have all the long games. That's why they limited it to 28-man roster.
Exactly. And so this new southpaw that we got, at first I was like, okay, whatever. But when you dive into his career numbers, Eric, this is a guy that I think they're looking at using as the bridge to replace Ryan Presley before they get to Brian Abreu. Here are his numbers. 23 and 15 overall. He does have a 4.40 ERA, 329 strikeouts, a 1.421 whip. He does have 15 saves. He had 10 saves last year, so he's worked the back end of the bullpen. He's a left-hander. That's great to have a left-hander in there. We definitely need those. We need a left-hander that's going to be healthy, not a guy like Kendall Graveman who's going to come in and get hurt his shoulder every year he signed with us. I'm so glad he's not a part of this team. No offense to Kendall Graveman. But I just think Jalen Beeks is going to be one of those diamonds in a rough. Like I was talking to Corbin the other day, let him cook, let Dana Brown cook, as the kids would say. And so we've got a lot of things going on. Walker, I believe, will be swinging this next week. Forrest Whitley's looking good. Jalen Beeks was actually at camp today in a Nationals uniform, so he started throwing some baseballs there at big league camp, and he's a guy that I think could break camp with the club and fill one of those spots that the Astros have. I mean, even over someone like a Brian King or something like that. But I've seen some really good numbers in the pitching, Eric. We've done well pitching. I'm also excited to see what this offense can do.
Well, if you look at his Beeks, his spin rate is pretty high. His curveball is 25-40 rotations. Then you have everything is above 2,000. So that's the type of pitcher that the Astros typically can work with. He feels like coming to the Astros rotation. I mean, not rotation, but the organization will help them overall. So this is not a guy that you can look at his stats and be like, oh, that's a for sure guy. This is a guy that's been around to multiple teams. He's been with the Red Sox. He's been with the Rockies. He's been with the Pirates. But this is a guy that we found, like Taylor Scott. Who would have thought Taylor Scott would be somebody? But sometimes you find like players that just fit for your team, and maybe he is that type of player. So I think that's good. I think that the Astros are just doing what they can right now to fill in the pieces, the holes they need, because they can't go out and make any trades as of right now. They can't go out and sign anybody, but they have what they have. And so I think that there's a lot of question marks still. There's a lot for us to talk about this week, but some guy walked off on Saturday with a home run. Cesar Salazar, right?
Yeah, Cesar Salad did. Cesar Salazar, man, came in, and dude, it was a shot to right field, and it not only hit the foul pole, and this is what I love. Garrett Green with the Space Cowboys. I want to give him a shout out. He does some really cool stuff. He's the guy that we've talked to get the interviews with the players there at Sugarland, but he's been announcing the games with Sparky or Ford and been doing a phenomenal job. And he said the ball didn't just hit the foul pole. He said it hit the outside of the foul pole. In other words, it barely hit the foul pole. So They said it was a line shot, like the Yankees all looked at it and they walked off, and it was a large crowd. There were a lot of Yankees fans in attendance. There was no Aaron Judge, there was no, Giancarlo Stanton, but still you had your, your Yankee faithful, and it was there at the ballpark. So you like to see big crowds there at spring training. Again, spring break's coming up for a lot of us, maybe not this week, but next week. So if you guys get a chance to go out there, get there early, go to practice early. Don't wait till the game. You can get autographs, all kinds of stuff. Wait, you have breaking Lance McCullers Jr. news? What is it?
We got some breaking Lance McCullers news. He will throw a live batting practice on Wednesday and then pitch in a game after that. So
really,
we're about to see him in action.
Lance, fancy pants Lance. That's awesome, dude. Good job, Lance. Nice.
So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm actually rooting for this guy. I know a lot of people are like, well, he's been hurt. You can't count on him. But I think that this guy, if he can actually go to AAA, get stretched out, and stay healthy, he could be another addition to this rotation. And you can go to 6-man rotation to keep arms fresh. And maybe you can use McCullers and Whitley on the same day to kind of save the bullpen a little bit. But let's just take it one day at a time, as most managers would say. Let's see how he does in his first game back, and I'm rooting for him. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh yeah, big time. No, it's good to see him back on the mound. This has been a great show, Eric. Glad to have you back. It'll be fun to talk about the what ifs this week, and everything going on. So you know what, you guys have a good one.
Hey guys, thank you for making a Locked On Astros podcast here. First listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to us, and we will see you tomorrow. And Brett, what do we always say?
Go Stros.
Yeah, somebody I was hanging out with this weekend had a Yankees hat. It was annoying.
Yeah, well, they're probably down in